EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. And the Mile High air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Now, lady, express. 45, 45, Mike, 45.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's 2nd down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Carr. And a throw right sideline is complete. 23 yards the pickup there.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. First carry for Josh Jacobs. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
Down, 180.
Let's make these babies proud.
29.
Let's make these babies proud.
Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Going for the deep ball. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
This will be taken at the 10. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Good, 20. You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me. Sponge. No. Hurry. Mike 51. Mike 51. What's that?
They'll run for the first time with Phillip Lindsay. And just not much to be had there. 1 yard out to the 10.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. To throw, Mayfield. And he fires one incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Hey, 133. 55.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. score. Noah Fant, an even 90 yards. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point from McManus is good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offense.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bradley Chubb coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Carr to throw. The open man here, Renfro. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, it's Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Derek Wolfe popping in for the sack. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel. Kill. King.
They'll start on the ground with Lindsey, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs, but the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. He'll get this to Phillip Lindsay complete. And they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. On 4th down, on is Colby Wadman now to punt. Back deep, Antonio Brown. He gets it away, and I think they'll smartly play keep away here from Brown. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a 1-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
A big hitter there from deep in their own territory. 48 yards on the ground. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing now is Carr. Going up top. This is caught inside the 15. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Let's go.
Shotgun now for Carr. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Carr going to get this to Jacobs. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 32-yard line.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Carr. He'll find Moreau here. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
What now? 180. Here we go, D. Get off the field.
Carr to throw again. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Raiders into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Again, they'll throw with Carr. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
To throw again on 2nd down. Carr. Got a man. It's Brown. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
The Raiders on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Again, it's Carr. Eluding the pressure right. He's got a man. It's Williams. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They'll come out in the pistol. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
A lot can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing, and as a player, that means an awful lot.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Now Carr again. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. A 2-yard touchdown grab as they are now on the board here in the first half. Vinatieri connecting on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
He'll find Metcalf. And he lost the football. And the Raiders have recovered. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Carr going option right. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
2nd and 12 at the 37-yard line.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Catch made. It's Moreau. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And an alley to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Carr can beat you in a lot of ways. The scramble there, a perfect example as he gets the first.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
Down. Mike, 45. Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Throwing on first down is Carr. Working the middle here. That's complete to Moreau, the tight end. A loss of 2 there. Second down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
45, Mike, 45. Let's go, man. We need turnover. Get that ball. Get that ball. 45 to Mike. 45.
On play action. Now Carr. That is caught at the 7. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
93. 47 is the Mike. 47 is the Mike. Hey, Alpha. 47 Mike. 47 Mike.
From the gun, Carr. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Timmy Jernigan with a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on second and goal, back even further.
Team 6. Team 6. No.
Carr. Out to the left. That's where the tight end Moreau is. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Hey, Wahoo! Check in. I got you.
Carr now on third and goal. And this is going to be intercepted. Isaac Yiadom in there to pick it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
They're throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. Here's Mayfield, and he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Denver has a first down on the 15-yard play. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. A first carry now for Kofrani Muhammad. And his first carry, he loses the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free. but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
You ain't doing nothing today.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. It's caught. Smith. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Hey, check right. Watching you five.
Here we go, D.
Hey, alert.
Come again. Here I come again.
Hey, foxtrot. Here we go.
From the red zone now, Mayfield. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. A give, running right, Lindsey. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
X3, 218, chop.
Check. Lucky.
They'll run with Lindsey. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Are you getting the headache? He's checking. Crash. Jim.
They'll look to run with Freeman. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by McManus is good. So we're at halftime here in Denver with the Broncos leading this one. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. They'll run the toss. It's Lindsey. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Set, 20.
Right there in the middle, 55. Let him know.
From the gun, Mayfield. Flush to his right. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. and it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And that kick will go out of bounds right at the 20-yard line.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. Play action. Now it's Carr. Pitch and catch to Moreau, the tight end. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Carr finds Williams, and they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A Raider first down, 17 yards.
First down, Raiders.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 39-yard line. From the gun, it's Carr. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 32-yard line.
Let's get it.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Carr now to throw. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Mayfield now. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And he is down at the 48. A pickup of 4 that started at one 48-yard line and ended at the other. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. He's got his tight end Fant. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. Mayfield now, 5 straight completions here in this second half, 1st and 10. Now Mayfield. It's caught by Quincy Enunwa. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. Mayfield now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Throwing, Mayfield. And this one complete to Smith. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Cleveland Farrell. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Enunwa's got it, complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 1.
And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And they're going to have this way down deep in Denver territory. A big play that time for the Raiders. 57 yards on the ground. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Now Carr. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long. And they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Escaping the pressure right. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you've kind of run out of your running plays. Fire another one into the end zone.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40.
Check. Check.
Now it's Lindsey. Carl Joseph up from his safety spot to make the play.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
20. Watch the curl. Watch the curls.
Real.
51.
Bravo.
51. Tighten up.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Mayfield. He's going to sling this deep downfield. That's caught inside the 20. It's a big play there for the Broncos. 41 yards. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
I got it.
That's the end of the third play. With the score, Broncos 13, Raiders 10.
We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Now it's Freeman. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Hurry. Let's go, Raiders.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle, 55.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Mayfield, complete. Smith has it. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And he'll bring this all the way up to the 45-yard line. Philip Lindsay, the intended target. I love plays like that. A defensive lineman holding the football. It's like a kid who stole a cookie from the cookie jar, and then he's just fleeing the scene of the crime.
And all he's doing in his mind, reliving his days when he was young, probably played fullback on his high school team, always wanted to be the tailback carrying the ball, trying his best to lug that bad boy the distance.
Pretty impressive pick there off the screen, and then a nice return.
You know, nowadays, they do more ball drills with the big guys than ever before because they want to take possessions away from the offense.
Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36.
And the Raider first down.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Bradley Chubb picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Second down.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Here's Carr. Well, this is caught by Williams. Oh, no, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And the return will stop right around the 25. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Mayfield now after the fumble recovery. Got a man open. It's Ricky Seals-Jones. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Watch twist. Watch twist. Showing it. Showing it. Regular. Slam.
On second down, it's Lindsey. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. To throw, Mayfield. And that's caught by Smith. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
They're enjoying a fourth quarter advantage. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Mayfield to throw it. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. This a very important drive, and that incompletion leads to a very important third down here if they're going to try and get the football back.
Yeah, getting it back, absolutely crucial to their chances to try and win this game. I would expect a lot of pressure here. They can't afford to let them continue to get first downs and eat away at the clock.
Mayfield looks to throw. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 35. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 35-yard line.
Hurry! SOS.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. Vontez Burfict, the one to get him down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Hurry! On me! Right here, guys. Fight 51. Fight.
They'll go again with Lindsey. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Check safety! Hurry! Motion! Hurry! 55! Hey, eat! Yo!
On third down, here's Lindsey. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Hurry! He's mine. Go, Mike!
Shotgun snap and a give to Lindsey. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Hey, defense, let's go! Hurry! 51, Mike, 51.
Here's a give to Lindsey running right. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Set, 180! 51 to Mike! Down, alert!
On 3rd down, Lindsey. And he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. 3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup. Hasn't been his best afternoon on the ground, far from it, but a critical 3rd down conversion.
This afternoon just got better. All right, you're exactly right. It hasn't been his best in terms of yardage, but that run there, that's the one your teammates look to you and go, okay, that's what we want from you. That's what we need. Now they have a chance to keep moving forward and a chance to win the game.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. The win for the Broncos seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. Down to one knee goes Mayfield, and that's all she wrote. And that knee will do it. So they snap the losing streak. Always a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if this one right here, when they're taking a knee, is as much exultation as exhalation, right? They just breathe a sigh of relief. Finally got a win. Needed one desperately.
So this one will wind up a Denver victory, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through, and they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Denver, they move a step closer to 500 as their record improves to 2-3. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, the calendar changed October didn't help as they dropped to 0-5 on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.